I can track your nervous system through the camera, and it's not magic. Somatic therapy is body-based, and we work with emotional, psychological, and physical issues as they live in the nervous system. So I get the question from potential clients of how does somatic therapy work online? I'm a somatic experiencing practitioner, a somatic trauma therapist, a registered therapist. I do craniosacral therapy as well, and I have a background in academia with a PhD in astrophysics. I came to this world of trauma healing and nervous system regulation through my own decade-long recovery from chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. And I created this channel to talk about life stuff through the lens of nervous system, trauma, family systems, and cultural messaging. Before I get into the details of how somatic therapy works online, I want to describe how the nervous system works and how stress and trauma get stuck in there. So we have a mammalian physiology. That means our fight, flight, freeze, our survival responses are exactly the same as animals, except that animals in the wild don't experience trauma because their survival response is complete. They get to run away from their predator, they get to fight their way to safety, or they freeze until the threat is over, and then they do whatever they need to and return to homeostasis baseline. But for humans, because we live in civilized societal conditions, oftentimes our bodies don't have the ability to complete a survival stress. And that can be because the parents might not be attuned, or they're not able to come to provide the safety that you need when you feel threatened, when you feel scared, or your emotions aren't allowed. So you have to swallow it all up. That creates tension in the body, that dysregulates the body too. And when a system can't complete the survival response or has to hold emotions in, that creates a dysregulated nervous system, and that is trauma. And down the line, as these stressors pile up, our nervous system becomes more dysregulated, and that leads to bigger emotional, psychological, and physical issues down the line. Now, what happens to you depends on your upbringing, your history, your genetic predisposition. And because nervous system dysregulation or trauma or stress is a physiological response, we can't access it and heal it through thinking alone. The mind doesn't have access to the parts in our body where those traumas, those stressors, and the early memories are stored. So to the question of how can this work online then, if this is body-based work? The distinction is that this is not body work. It's body-based, meaning I don't have to put my hands on your body. It's not massage. It's not physiotherapy or osteopathy. Now, I do somatic experiencing touch work, which does require you to be in person because my hands are listening to your nervous system through touch. But for somatic therapy, that doesn't require touch work. That's not body work. I can do that online. And that's because I can track your nervous system through these different ways that works also via the camera. The first way I can track you is visually. I can see your body. I can see your breathing pattern, any movements. I can see when there's tension building or an emotion wants to come out. I can also hear when your voice starts changing, when there's tension, when there's an emotion starting to build or the body starting to settle, the tone of voice, the inflection starts changing. Second, I track your nervous system by asking guiding questions and hearing what you report back to me of what's going on inside your body. And because of the way the camera frames, I can't see your hands and your feet. So I can ask you questions of how your hands and your feet are doing, or how the rest of the body parts that I can't see on the camera are doing. And I take that as information of where your nervous system state is. And the third one is harder to explain, but I also track the resonant field of what's going on in your system through my body. So our nervous systems always respond to each other or are analyzing each other's nervous system states. This happens automatically whether you're conscious or not conscious of it. As a somatic experiencing practitioner, you become conscious of it. So even though this is through the camera and we're not in the same place, my body starts feeling tension or relaxation depending on where you are in the process. And we learn to differentiate what is ours, what's my nervous system doing its thing, and what is from the resonant field from the client that I'm working with. And through tracking these things, I can help the client, I can help you either go into the intensity if you have the capacity to do that, or move away from the process to bring a bit more safety and resourcing, or stay in the process so that you learn how to build tolerance to be in your body. And that tolerance and that presence allows your body to do what it wants to do, to complete those old stored traumas, complete the survival responses that couldn't in the past. And that's how trauma healing works online through somatic therapy. Now, I don't just do somatic experiencing, so that's Peter Levine's modality of trauma healing. That's just one of the tools, one of my main tools I use to help clients process emotional, mental, and physical difficulties. But I'm also a registered and trained psychotherapist, so I also work with the mind, because oftentimes hearing the story in itself can also be very healing, especially when you or a client has not had the experience growing up of an attuned adult who is curious and interested in their life and believes their experiences. And then depending on, whether it's physical issues of family systems or the lineage of stuff or colonialism or patriarchy, depending on how the issue shows up, I use different tools going from there. But my main task is to help figure out where the nervous system gets stuck, where your nervous system gets stuck, what the patterns are, and then from there I use various different kinds of tools, and I still trust the innate intelligence and wisdom of the body to know what it needs to do. This is why I can work with clients internationally, from London, Germany, New York, California, Canada, Saudi Arabia, people in Bali, not necessarily in the same city that I live in. And with these clients, I go just as deep as I could if they were to do in-person sessions with me. At this moment in time, I'm open to seeing new clients. So if you're curious and interested to learn more about how somatic trauma therapy can be a fit for you, then book a free 20-minute consultation with me, and I'm happy to have a chat with you. And if you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment of what resonated with you.